What's going on, guys? I don't have a lot going on today, but with all the, and they tell you not to say the name of it, but you guys know what's going on in the world. With everything that's happening right now, a lot of people are stuck at home, don't have much to do. I figure that's something that us that are on YouTube can do, is give you guys stuff to do, stuff to talk about. So I thought maybe while this is going on, I can throw some extra videos in just kind of talking about some of the stuff that's going on. And today I was thinking about the problem child, since it hasn't been basically in a video in a while. So I thought I'd show you what's going on with that car right now, and maybe we can talk a little bit about what I'm going to do to it and what the best solution is to get it back on the road going forward. Okay, so first of all, I absolutely hate this tree. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. This tree drops these little bud things all over my cars all the time, and it is super frustrating. So anyway, with the car sitting right over here, I do come out and I try to start it every so often and kind of keep everything flowing through. As you can see, the clear coat disease has gotten pretty bad. So when I do get it back running, I'm for sure gonna need to paint it. I'm already expecting to do that, so no big deal there. But let me show you around how it sits right now. There's a crap ton of pollen on it too. But starting off under the hood, everything's still looking pretty good here. Anybody who follows the channel knows that last year we did an absolute crap ton of work to this engine. Let me lighten this up a little bit. But I put a cam in it last year, just a stock cam. Replaced the water pump, timing set, front cover gaskets, the supercharger gaskets, the supercharger, I can't remember if I put a coupler in this or not, but the lower intake manifold, motor mounts, and just tons and tons of other stuff. We did a lot of work to this thing. Here's the big 3 upgrade that I did on this one, and it is still running super well. So no complaints there. But one problem that it has as far as engine stuff goes that I am going to have to address before I get back to driving it regularly again is overheating. Let me explain what it's got going on. This radiator is new. You'll also notice the aftermarket fan. That's what I was dealing with when the transmission had problems. I put a radiator in this and had a problem with the new one. The new one leaked, so I had to get another one. When I got the new radiator, I put it in and everything seemed fine at first because it was in the winter. But then when it got warm out and I started having to run the air conditioning, I ran into the problem that it would overheat anytime that the air conditioning was turned on. And I was starting to look into that whenever I quit driving it, but unfortunately the transmission started acting up, so I quit driving it and I never got a chance really to fix it. But I'm thinking the radiator itself has a problem or is defective, but I didn't have a chance to confirm that. I did switch the one fan with a better fan and try a couple other things. The one thing I noticed though is that if it sits and it idles with the AC on, the AC pressures will go high and the car will start to run too warm. When that happens, all I have to do is spray water right in here. And once you get water on the condenser and the radiator, the temperatures drop right down to normal. So this is making me think that it's a issue with the radiator not being efficient enough, that there's just too much heat buildup here. But that's something I'm going to get into. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know there. But what I was thinking about doing and what I thought would also make a good video is retrofitting the newer stuff in here and running an 04 plus radiator and fan setup in this car, because I know that's possible and would be just an interesting thing to do video wise. But as far as that goes, that's pretty much all that's wrong engine wise. On the inside, we have a different problem, and that is a very strange issue. Let me lighten this up. A very strange issue with the climate control. Basically, what's going on there is if this is set to anything other than 5 or off, and you go to turn the car off, it sputters for a few seconds before shutting off, like it's getting power from somewhere else. And it only does that when it's on 1, 2, 3, or 4, but never 5 and 0. So I'm assuming that what I've got going on there is some kind of bad ground, or somehow power is bleeding over from the circuit that supplies power to the blower motor resistor, that's then keeping the ignition going for a few seconds afterwards. If any of you guys have ever had this problem done before, let me know. I looked at all the wiring down on the blower motor end. I even did some troubleshooting and stuff down there before all this started and could not find the problem there. So at this point, I'm thinking it may be shorting inside the ignition switch, and I've read some stuff that would agree with that. So let me know what you guys think. And if I do end up having to do an ignition switch, that'll be another video that I'll be doing. Other than that, I will show you guys an update on the tinted taillights. The tint has held up really well, but the 2K clear coat, not so much. It has started flaking. It did really well until I let the car sit for a long time, but I guess sitting out here baking in the sun all day and not getting to go anywhere was the death of it. So just an update on that. If you remember that video, it did make it, I don't know, probably a year, but that clear coat did flake and did come off. The headlights, however, that I put in last year still look really good. They're a little dirty right now from pollen, but still clear, good lenses, no problems there. Then of course the other problem is the transmission, which you know is why it's sitting right now. As far as what's going on with that, I'm pretty sure at this point that the torque converter clutch is ripped completely out of it. It was full of clutch material and it stopped up the filter when I took the filter out and changed it. So the transmission is back to working again, but shifting 1 to 2 is a little laggy and slow sometimes, but not always. And the torque converter clutch just no longer works. It went from trying to lock up all the time when it was stuck to now it doesn't ever try to lock up at all. So I'm assuming it's just torn it completely out of it. So it's got to have a torque converter at least. It's got to have a TCC solenoid at least. So at this point, I'm thinking the best way to take care of it is just to put a transmission and torque converter in it. And if I'm really lucky and I can come across some money, I might even be able to slightly upgrade that transmission when I swap them. I'm not sure. We'll see how things go. But that's basically what's going on with it. So it's still here. It still runs and it still drives, but it's definitely got its fair share of issues. So I've just been driving the 05. But let me know what you guys think about this stuff. Let's just, I don't know, let's just talk about cars. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like this one. Drop me a comment to let me know what you think about any of the problems this car has. And if you're excited to see this car return to the channel at some point. And make sure you're subscribed. And I will see you in that video. Thank you so much for watching and peace.